Hi there, this is Justin. In this video, I'm going to be covering the Flash Report. The Flash Report is a popular dashboard that my agency projectBI builds for our D2C clients. The dashboard is built within Tableau, which is our go-to data visualization solution. It sits on top of a number of BI infrastructure components that allows us to build these highly custom dashboards. So the first thing I want to point out in this dashboard is that it's got three sections. We've got the monthly forecast metrics at the top. We then have the main table, and underneath we have a supplementary table. So let's go through each piece one by one, starting with the main table. The real power of this dashboard is that it allows us to bring in essentially any metric we want across all the data sources available to the brand. So you can see here we've got Shopify sales, we've got excluding tax and including tax, got the Shopify discount percentage, the repeat customer rate, both in terms of dollars and customers themselves. We have AOV for new, repeat, and fully blended. We then move on to Amazon sales. We then have a whole section covering all the advertising platforms. We even have one called Other Ad Spend, which is broken down in the supplementary table, which I'll move to in a minute. We then have our Shopify expenses, Amazon expenses. These are also fully blended metrics, which we break down in the supplementary table below. We have CAC, ROAS. This is the fully blended ROAS across all the advertising. We have Facebook only ROAS. We have new customer ROAS. We then have the inverse of ROAS, which is ad spend versus total sales. And then finally, we get to some financial metrics to summarize all of this, all of these performance-based metrics. We've got profit loss, margin, and then right at the end, we've got some additional metrics which are good to keep an eye on. For example, the Amazon return rate, Shopify return rate, and also cost for a subscriber. This is across both Klaviyo and Attentive. So as I mentioned, we've got all these different metrics in one very, very powerful table. Now, since this is Tableau and we can do a lot of fancy stuff in Tableau, there's no reason that we have to look at everything on a daily basis. Within 2 clicks, we can shift and look at everything on a weekly basis. Also notice we've got these transparent bar charts. These transparent bars. This is essentially a bar chart, but it's on its side and in a table. And this just allows us to easily spot, the trends. So it's a nice visual aid. We've also got some parameters up here which allow us to very easily switch the date range that we care about. So if I want to go to the beginning of the year, all I need to do is that, and now I'm looking at all the weeks of this calendar year. Since I'm recording this on the 9th and this week's partial, I'm just going to go ahead and exclude this week. Can do that also within 2 clicks in Tableau, which is really nice. And now basically I can look at full weeks and I can start analyzing my data. We've got some very, very strong weeks here. This was during a big promotion that the brand performed, and it was also the start of the year was exceptionally strong for this brand. We can see heavy discounting that took place over here to help push their revenue up, as well as if we shift over here to total ad spend, we can see that very clearly here. So it helps us really get a great picture of what's going on. If I just want to select those 3 weeks and focus in on them, we can see definitely outliers in terms of performance, but we also see heavy discounting and significantly more ad spend during that period. Let's see if we can focus on advertising a bit here. So Facebook ad spend was much higher than before. The last week here, it was more than double the average week, which is around 150, 160K. We also had a boost in Google Ads ad spend, as well as a bit of an increase in Amazon ad spend, as well as other ad spend. So the brand really pushed on advertising during that period. If we now shift down here and focus on those 3 weeks, the 19th to the 4th of March, and we just look over here, first of all, you can see I broke down also all the advertising pieces here. So we've got the credit card fees, the fulfillment, shipping, and COGS. And that gives us our total Shopify expenses. If I shift over here, we've got our TikTok and Bing. We see a big increase in TikTok. Bing was more or less the same, a bit of an increase, but it's very small in terms of overall spend. So that helps explain the increase in the other ad spend during that period. We also saw a nice boost in subscribe to list and filled out form. Those are 2 key events within Klaviyo and Attentive. We also saw a nice boost. So yeah, not too much to learn there, other than, like I mentioned, heavy discounting and the increase in ad spend. That's obviously going to boost sales. Let's take a look at how the margins performed during that week. And they were pretty good, especially the first week, 20%. So even though we had heavy discounting, we saw an increase in ROAS during that period, which is great. So I can basically conclude by doing a quick analysis of this period that the discounting increased conversion rate high enough that the ROAS shifted positively, and basically the CAC would have dropped, as we see here, and that still allowed us to have a decent margin. So the reason I'm a big fan of this report is I know a lot of D2C brands, especially those that are spending a ton of money on advertising, don't always have the full picture, and it's difficult to see everything in one place. This is a fully automated report, so every day this report is updating. We have clients that are using this report which are updating multiple times throughout the day, just so they can keep track on how the numbers are looking. And it really does help to, gain perspective on all the numbers in one view, so that you can decide to put your foot on the gas or lift your foot off the gas, since we know there's a lot of variance and changes with the Facebook algorithm in particular. Lastly, this current month's forecast. This is just a very straightforward forecasting approach where we're looking at the totals across the month to date, and then we extrapolate that out to the end of the month. It's not the most scientific approach, but it does help brands get a sense of their pacing. And as you can see, all these numbers up here cover a lot of ground. I should also mention that every column in this table was decided with the client. So, we have some idea of what we would like to cover, but every piece of this is custom built. You can notice by hovering over, I've got that little piece that shows the exact logic behind each of these calculations. Profit and loss, margin, all of these are custom built KPIs that are shown in this report. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider sharing it and subscribing on YouTube. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it.